You know, I never thought I'd be that guy who had a garage full of crap piled on top of a neat old race car. I always thought I'd be that guy with a project car on the go, and that car underneath all the boxes would actually go somewhere. Well, if you look around this place, you'll see that, well, neat old race car, check. Boxes of crap, check. Poor lighting, yeah. There's not much I can do in here as it sits right now. My name's Gary Grant. They call me the Garage Guy despite the fact that my space is a mess. And what we've decided to do is a series of sort of do-it-yourself projects and reviews to turn this space into a decent workspace. So I'm starting with a great two-car garage. It's got lots of space. There's too much stuff. We need to deal with some storage. I know that. But the biggest thing for me, especially because I'm getting a little bit older and my eyes don't work so well, is we need some decent lighting in here. The folks at Big Ass Fans, under their new Haiku Home line of products, have introduced this new light. It's the Garage Series. This thing has, I don't know, a couple of hundred LEDs or something. It promises to use next to no electricity and offer a ton more light than traditional fluorescent fixtures. What we have in here right now is just a regular light socket with a floodlight bulb in it. So anything's going to be an improvement. But I know when we get this thing up, you're going to see a huge difference. We're not just going to work on the garage itself, though. We do have some projects on the go. First up, you know, as we're swapping tires back and forth for track days, at first it was winter and now it's track days and whatnot, doing it by hand is a bit of a pain. So the folks at Mac have just come out with this new BWP 150 cordless impact gun, and they tell us that this thing has all the power of an air gun. So we're going to try that out over a few weekends, and we'll report on that as well. Our big project car over the summer isn't really this thing. Yes, we'll do some work on it, I hope, if I can get my stuff together. But we've got this really neat old Subaru Impreza with a great Canadian rally history. It did Targa Newfoundland back in '06, finished second in its class. We've done a bunch of neat stuff with that already in Driven Wheels. And it's track day season, so now the car is going to be set up for the track. We've got this fantastic set of Haiku wheels from Canadian company Fast Wheels. These things, I mean, they're gorgeous. They're 17-inch wheels that weigh something like 18.2 pounds or something each. They're lightweight, they're absolutely beautiful, and you'll be seeing them at a lot of tracks around Ontario over the summer. This week's tester is a 2016 Nissan Sentra. My first experience with Sentra dates way back to the early 80s, maybe 83, 84, when one of my buddies drove one of the very first generation Sentras in Canada. Cheap and cheerful, those cars were almost throwaway, but they were inexpensive and reliable, and that was right around the time that the company dropped the Nissan brand, and a whole slew of Canadian consumers became loyal Nissan fans thanks to the tiny sedan. Introduced in 2013 and refreshed for the 16 model year, the 7th generation Sentra has undergone a coming of age of sorts. Recent generations have been less than inspiring, but this model, particularly in the SL trim like our tester, has taken Sentra places that nobody who ever drove one of those early cars would expect. Sentra has grown in stature. Incredibly, it's 2 inches longer than the first Altima, and it's got stylish body to go along with that bigger stance. Most impressive, however, is the number of modern features Nissan has packed into this Sentra. Nissan Connect with Navi integrates Bluetooth, Sirius XM, a series of apps that work with your smartphone, and a Bose sound system. High-tech driver aids include adaptive cruise control, rear view camera, blind spot warning, rear cross-traffic alert, and forward emergency braking. These aren't things that you would normally have associated with the Sentra name. Unfortunately for enthusiast drivers, only the lower market S and SV models are available with a 6-speed manual. The sportier SV and upscale SL can only be had with a CVT. Boo! Sentra has a base price of under 16 grand. However, our fully loaded tester rang in at $27,729 here in Canada. One thing I haven't talked about that I'm known for is barbecue. Naturally, there's going to be some barbecue around this garage, and you'll see some of that stuff in coming weeks. There'll be recipes and grilling tips and barbecue maintenance tips. That stuff's coming. But first up, later this week, we're going to install this light up in the ceiling and see how that goes and see what a difference it makes. For Driven Wheels and The Garage Guy, thanks for watching. I'm Gary Grant.